The first rule is in the street, and this is the number one rule everybody needs to adhere to. And you gotta follow this rule to ensure your survival, to ensure your longevity, and to ensure that you go home every night to your loved ones. You avoid any entanglements with the law, and you avoid any scrutiny with law enforcement. And that number one rule, which every so-called gangster needs to follow, is, listen carefully now, there is no rules. Number two, every rule is meant to be broken. Number three, refer to number one and number two. So now that we know all three rules that gangsters follow, I'd like you to hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and feel free to comment. Now let's go. Tonight we're talking about BOOSIE versus Kodak Black. Normally I do not even get into conversations like this because I think at some point we should have been past, we meaning us, people of color, wherever we might come from, we should have been past ignorance. You know, I do understand when people say the no snitching rule and all of that. That's cool. And don't work with rats. That's cool. But at some point, you know, people like people like Kodak Black gotta eat. His songs ain't doing that well. You seen he looks like he's strung up for drugs in his last videos. So I don't know, no disrespect to Yak, but you know, he might just need some rehab money. It ain't like you're gonna give him something. So I don't know. I get where BOOSIE, as a former convict and a death row inmate, is looking at it from, but you know, in this time and age, this is a different generation, man. I always tell people, and even to keep it real, even in the past generations, you know, a lot of people you would not believe was working with them boys and working with law enforcement. Dons, working with law enforcement, and you'd say, why would a kingpin squeal? Well, these kingpins were squealing, and they was getting off, and they lived and died without anybody knowing that most takedowns that was happening within their own crew was being orchestrated by them in connivance with law enforcement. For example, one that comes to mind is Whitey Bulger, the one that got stabbed by those dudes in supposedly the D-Color Gerald dude was being accused of being one of the people that stabbed him in his prison. So you know, you look at those things and it's like, whatever, you know, you just don't pay heed to it. Don't pay no heed. Don't pay no mind. A lot of people, they pick and choose who they think is a rat, who they think you shouldn't work with, who they think. You have evidence. Well, sometimes it could be circumstantial. For example, in the case of T.I., you see circumstantial evidence that there's no reason why this man got off that lightly with a year, and he had Arnold Schwarzenegger's Terminator ammo in his closet. He got off with a year. You know, and you have people that get caught with just a bullet, they get a mandatory 15 years. You know, I knew someone that had a grenade, and he got about 20 years. Had a grenade without a pin. No pin, no gunpowder, but because he was a ex-felon, they smoked him. You know, so it's a funny situation. I don't know. Maybe, to be honest, maybe if he had done something with Troy Ave, I probably wouldn't look at him that way, because TEKASHI do have he has this annoying tendency. I don't know how to explain it. You know, there's a difference when you ratted or you broke some so-called code, or you violated in those terms, right? And then you play humble. I think he should have been more humble, but I guess, you know, he has to sell his records and he has to sell his tapes. So he's been very belligerent, very disrespectful. And that person is why I think, like, you know, maybe Yak should have stayed away from him. But, you know, I don't know. You know, you can't fault the man. Music probably ain't selling as well. He probably got a lot of responsibilities and he need that money. So he's probably obviously is between the devil and the deep blue sea, you know, so got his back against the rock, and he just chose, like, well, listen, this Millie, I think this Millie gonna do it for me, you know. But I don't know, left to me, I just think TEKASHI is just someone to stay away from, personally. I don't know the man personally, but that's just my opinion from the outside looking in. You compare that to, for example, this guy, everybody wanted to go down. They wanted him to go down so bad, even though he escaped getting killed, Troy Ave. You know, that's one person I personally do not think he should be getting as much slander as he presently is getting, or as much blacklisted as he presently is. But, you know, it's all politics, street politics into the boardroom, and it just goes on and on. But yeah, I hope this Yak and BOOSIE situation do not escalate. I hope they leave it where it's at. Let them talk, they crab back and forth. That's all we all want to see, right? The degeneracy. So hopefully they keep it just keep it humorous, because both of them, they some real funny cats. And yeah, keep it humorous, talk ish about each other, don't get gunplay involved, don't get violence involved, and entertain us. That's what you guys are here for. You're entertainers. That'll be all I have to say about that. Hit the like button, subscribe, and until next time, I'll drop more content. Don't forget to comment.